I've helped many, many, many children, thousands of children all over the world. Cancer kids, leukemia kids.
He's a
humanitarian.
The real Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for chatting with me. It's nice to connect, actually, because we've been Facebook friends for a little while, and I follow your journey. I know you follow my journey. So it's nice to actually connect and say hello. And even better when I know you've got some great stories to tell. So I'm looking forward to hearing them. But anyway, so as you know, I've got the book, Humanitarian, The Real Michael Jackson. I turned it into a documentary and also a podcast. So I've finished season 1 of the podcast, and I'm trying to get some guests to chat to me for season 2. And I've got a couple recorded, but I want to get a couple more recorded before I release anything. So thank you again for chatting with me.
And an amazing book.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There's quite a few people that are reluctant to talk publicly about their experiences with Michael Jackson. Many people that were close with Michael back in the days have either been hounded by the press for many years, so they don't want to talk about it, or they just know that if they talk about Michael, sometimes it gets twisted and turned into something that they didn't say. So a lot of people are reluctant to talk. So I'm really grateful when someone like yourself wants to have a chat with me. But anyway, I wondered if you could take us back to when you first became a Michael Jackson fan. What's that story like?
Yeah, so that's way back. It was in 1987. I was 9 years old, and I was at a friend's house, and it was the premiere of The Way You Make Me Feel, the short film premiere.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So the mom stepped through the TV and stopped for a minute to watch the beginning of The Way You Make Me Feel, and then she wanted to zap on, and I was like, wait, what was that? Yeah. So that's how it started. I had no idea who he was, and I was mesmerized. I mean, booked right away. And then I think soon after, Moonwalker came into the theaters.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And you saw that in the theaters?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I watched it 3 times. Yeah, and I mean, there's a little bit of a sad story also, because during that time in my childhood, I had some family members and somebody on my mom's side that was addicted to drugs. So I was exposed to a lot of drug addiction issues in my household. So when I watched Moonwalker, it really hit home. I mean, Katie, the story about Katie and Michael. I mean, the girl looked almost like me. She could have been my twin.
Yeah.
And the story is about Michael saving children from a bad guy who wants to make everybody addicted, and it was actually like really hitting home. So yeah, he really
made an impact.
He made a big impact. Yeah exactly. So from then on, I would say it was a done deal. He was my safe zone. He was literally like the hand that I needed, that reached out.
Yeah.
So that I could, when it was really horrible at home, I could just close my door and listen to his music and
escape.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you get to see him live on the Bad Tour?
Yeah. No, not on the Bad Tour. On the Bad Tour, I was too small. And I think right when my fan journey started, it was not taking long until he actually came to Switzerland.
Yeah.
And no, I just saw it in the newspapers, and those were my first clippings that I cut out. And at that time, when you were a child, all that you wanted was images. So
Yeah.
I threw away the articles, but I was cutting out his image and hanging it on my wall. So that's how it started, exactly, with the first tour pictures of Michael Jackson live in Switzerland. And no, I saw him first. Then I wanted to go to the Dangerous concert. I think I was around 14.
Yeah.
I even wanted to skip school and everything,
Yeah, of
And
course.
I've been writing essay over essay. When we had like free writing, I wrote essay over essay in class, like inventing stories, how I met Michael and so on. And I think after the third essay, my teacher wrote underneath, "I really hope your dream comes true." And so she knew. I think she heard also that he's coming on tour, so she knew. And she was asking me, "Are you going to a concert?" And I said, "Definitely." And she said, "When is he coming?" And I said, "Yeah, this and this date." And she said, "Isn't that a weekday?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "How do you gonna do this?" And I said, "Well, I don't care. I'm ready. I'm ready for any trouble I get into. I'm not coming to school that day." And then she said, she came to me after 3 days and she said, "Listen, I talked to the principal and you can't be skipping class, but we are giving you the afternoon off."
Oh, beautiful.
And but please promise me to come in the morning. So I did that. And then I left. And right when I was on the way with the train, Michael canceled the concert.
Yeah. Was that the Dangerous tour? Or?
Dangerous tour, yeah.
Man.
It would have been also September 11th, 1992. Yeah, and then I was really heartbroken because I was a fan, I think then for about 5 years. And then I had to wait another 5 years till he came again on History Tour.
And you went to that?
Yes.
Ah, how was that?
So, he came to 2 cities because Switzerland is a small country. So, but he came to 2 different cities. One is in the French part of Switzerland and the other one in the German part of Switzerland. And I went to both concerts. That was amazing. I remember because I waited 10 years to finally see him, and I remember that when he arrived with the rocket and stepped out, he was wearing the helmet, right?
Yeah.
And I was standing there and everybody was screaming and being loud. I just stood there in awe and thought, not until you remove the helmet. I want to see it's really you. Show me it's really you. I can't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think to me, it didn't matter what he would have done on stage. For me, it was Michael being there, finally, real in flesh and blood. So to me, he could have just stood there for 2 hours straight. I mean, I was just happy he was there. Yeah. And I can't remember much about the concert itself. I just know that it went by and I was just like mesmerized. No.
Did you?
Oh, and by the way, since we are talking about the concert, do you remember at the end of the concerts, they always had this glitter falling from the sky?
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought I'm going to show this to you today. So these are the actual, yeah, these are the actual glittery things that fell from the.
You've still got it.
Yeah. So they were laying around everywhere on the floor.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's amazing.
I think that's really special, something special, Sometimes it is the most insignificant things that are more special than, a vinyl or something. These kind of tiny things matter to me much more.
And you've done well to hold on to them for 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had things like that from the 80s and 90s as well as a collector back then.
And you threw them away.
Well, they go missing. You move homes, you move different houses, and things go missing. So you've done really well to hold on to them. That's amazing.
I think I lost a lot of things, and we moved around quite a lot. I think in 10 years we moved around 13 times when I was a kid. But my collection was the one thing I saved first before everything, you know.
Yeah.
As a child, yeah.
Now, did you go to the hotel when you on the history tour?
No, on the history tour, I had no idea. I think I was around 8. I think I tried to search him because before, I mean, he already started the tour and then he had a break in between.
Yeah.
And then he started the European leg and came to Switzerland. And during the break, he recorded Blood on the Dance Floor.
Oh, yes.
And he was in Montreux, Switzerland.
Oh,
recording.
wow.
Yeah, so it was in the news. It was in the headlines one morning. And I actually traveled to Montreux and then went to his hotel.
Oh.
And there, I didn't see him actually, but I took a room in the same hotel and I got to know one of the securities. It was my first kind of thing that I did like that.
Yeah.
And that security guy was actually, I think, like someone like an additional security that was hired to do, through a security company or something.
Yeah.
And we kept in touch for a while. And he said, once we're coming to Switzerland and I'm still going to be there, I'm going to try to do something for you. But then it all fell through.
Yeah.
You know, he was no longer hired. But we kept in touch for quite a while. I will still remember that he called me when Prince was born.
Oh, wow.
I heard it from him before it was in the newspapers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he told me Michael has a son. His name is Prince Michael. And the next day it was in all over the world.
Oh, well, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but actually there was a tiny little story there in Montreux because I tried to find where he was at. I went through all the corridors, you know, and tried to find him. And then I bumped into that security guard. And then we kept talking for a while. And it ended up in me telling him that I have a room in the hotel. And then he said, Michael won't come out tonight, but so you can actually go to your room and watch some telly, but I will give you a call. So after a while, he called. And while we were talking on the phone, he asked me, so how did you become a fan? And what's your name? And where you're from? And so on. But in the lobby, when we talked for the first time, I've been telling him already my whole story. So I was like, why do I have to tell him the very same thing again?
Yeah.
Could it be that somebody is listening, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was continuing, you know, telling my whole story again, thinking maybe, you know, somebody might be listening. And then after a while, I think I was like saying something about, you know, how cute Michael was and how adorable, you know, gushing over him. Yeah. And then I heard a giggle. And I could swear today on any Bible that I heard I recognized his giggle. But yeah, I mean, I said, what was that? And then the security guy went, huh, what? And I said, yeah, I heard somebody laughing. And he said, you know, this phone is very strange. You sometimes hear voices and so never mind, just continue, you know. So, but I had a feeling it could have been that he was listening in, you know, but I didn't meet him there, nothing. Yeah, and I left the next day because it was too expensive. And he said, we keep in touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nothing turned out from it like he could help me to meet him or anything. But yeah, we kept in touch for quite a while.
Yeah. And
then I went to these 2 concerts. So Michael came afterwards to Switzerland, you know, history tour.
Yep.
So because it was in between in the break that he had.
97?
Yes, that was January 97. Yeah. He was in Montreux Palace. Still remember, it was a massive hotel. Beautiful. Very impressive. Yeah, and then he went to the studios there to record Blood on the Dance Floor.
Wow.
It was very private. There were almost no fans. I think I saw 8 people in the lobby, and I think the security guy brought one of them some autographs, and they said thank you and left. I mean,
Wow.
Switzerland was exceptional for him, because if he would have done the same in Germany, the hotel in front of the hotel would have been like a circus. But
Yeah.
in Switzerland, he really was left alone, and the people gave him his privacy, you know. That's
Wow.
why I also left, because I felt like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's here, no other fans are chanting and standing in front of the hotel, so it felt weird, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Wow. So then there's a pretty big gap in between 1997 and I suppose it's 2001 when the next big MJ
No,
era comes around.
99 he had the Michael Jackson and Friends concert in Munich.
Oh, yes.
The
Yep.
one in Seoul and the one in Munich. So that's where I saw him next.
Oh,
Yeah, so
wow.
I went there as well. I did the same thing. I had a room for like one night or so. I booked myself into the hotel. I saw him when he was coming in. You know, I took a couple of pictures. I think I took 2 snaps when he came in. But while we were waiting for him, they kept pushing us further away and further away and further away until we had to go up some stairs and wait there. And
Yeah.
but it was, I mean, at that time, Michael was still at such a peak,
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
99. So the security measurements were a whole other ordeal than in the 2000s, you know.
Yeah.
That kind of changed. And so by then he was still so unreachable and on such a level. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
How was that
I went to
concert?
that concert. Uh, it was, I mean, it took very long. There were a lot of artists before him, you know.
Yeah.
It was going, I think it started around 3 in the afternoon with so many artists. And I mean, by the time he came on stage, you were already hurt from queuing outside, standing hours and hours. And
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it was amazing. But it was Michael's own part wasn't that long. It was not like a full-on concert, you know.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
he had this accident on the crane, and it stopped abruptly. It was like he tried to pretend like nothing happened and finished the performance of Earth Song.
Yeah.
And then after that, the lights went on in the stadium, and we were like, is it over? What's happening? What's going on? And I think they themselves kind of didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then they had like a group of dancers trying to distract. Then they
Yeah.
did like a dance on stage, some multicultural dance or something. And then after this dance group finished, all the lights went once more back on, and nobody said the concert is over or goodbye and have a good night. Michael didn't say goodbye. He was just gone.
Oh, so
And
he didn't return
people
after
realized, so
that.
now it's over. I mean, we were all like standing there. Is it over? Should we go? Should we wait? What's going on? I mean,
Did you realize at the time that there had been an accident and he'd hurt himself?
well, it looked weird, but the way it came down, it was not like crashing and coming down so fast that you really realized it was an accident. It was just like, well, that was weird.
Yeah.
But also the bridge, the setting of the bridge, the way it was different, I think, from the history to a concert.
Yeah.
I think there he had like this crane where he could go all over the crowd, you know, this
And
one
this
that
one
moved.
was just, yeah.
So it was another setting, so we had no idea, is it supposed to be like that? Or but we realized, I mean, he had to hop back on stage, and we realized something must have happened, because I can't imagine that the plan was that he had to like crawl back up and hop on the stage, you know.
Yeah.
But it didn't look so severe. You heard like a bump, like a little, not a little, it was quite loud. You could hear it go boom, you know.
Yeah.
But not to the point where you thought, oh, he must have hurt himself so badly, you know.
Yeah.
But then I think at the ending, you could see him at times, you know, like holding his back and, you know, trying to stand straight. Then we realized, okay, so it must have hit him a little bit, or he must have felt it, you know.
Wow. That's pretty
But
special to be able to witness, especially that
yeah,
concert that was so unique.
yeah, yeah. And then after that, we went back to the hotel, and he didn't return for a very, very long time. We waited all night, and he didn't show at the window, nothing. And then the next morning, I think until late afternoon, not late afternoon, maybe like around 2 or so, he didn't show. Usually he would be waving, and
Yeah.
showing himself. But then he was in the pajamas and opened the window, and he was looking a little bit like he just woke up, his hair was
Yeah.
all messy, and he was wearing a mask, so you couldn't see. But he didn't appear like being really in like big pain or so. He was waving, and there were some fans bring sending him some balloons up with a letter on it, and then
Oh,
he was
yeah.
trying to grab it and so on. Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
I still have pictures from that. It was in the newspaper how they would just send him a letter up like that. Yeah, it was
Very
really nice.
creative.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, fans, they were really creative. I mean, I have photos of, drawings and things fans created for him. It was amazing. I mean, I feel like Michael had also like a lot of talented fans,
Yeah.
and very creative ideas. I remember a friend of mine, her boyfriend was a programmer or something, and he invented a paparazzi shooter game for him.
Oh.
So he
Wow.
really loved that one. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And he got to give it to him?
Yeah, she gave it to him, and he really loved it. He was like, "Oh, wow."
That is hilarious.
And it was so funny because her boyfriend was not a Michael fan.
Yeah.
So he just did it for his girlfriend so that she has something unique to give to him.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. So this isn't the time when you met Michael at around this time,
No,
99? No.
no, no. And then I went to the New York concerts.
Unreal.
Yes, so you can actually see me in the show. You can
I've
see
seen
me
it.
doing the Rock My World performance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I saw the cameraman. So I was like, maybe if I dance a lot,
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe Michael's gonna see the footage or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I danced a lot. So yeah, and then that was actually the concert. And then the next morning we were supposed to fly back, and then the 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
And then the next morning when we wanted to start packing our bags, my friend said, why don't we put on the news? Maybe we're going to see some red carpet footage from last night and so on. And
Yeah.
we switched on the TV, and then we saw it live broadcast, like how the first tower was burning and how the second plane was flying inside.
Oh my God. And I'm presuming you're staying quite close to the Trade Center.
We were very close. Yeah, actually just a few blocks away.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that must have made
it was
you
a big
scared.
shock. At first we thought it was an action movie, like,
Yeah.
what's going on? And then we realized, wow, this is actually really happening. And then first we were confused when we saw the first building burning. We thought, was this like an accident, like somebody who, I don't know, somebody who flew a private plane and flew it by accident into the building? And then we realized, no, this is deliberate when the second one hit the second tower. And, everybody was shocked. Everybody was shocked.
Yeah.
And and then the whole chaos started, what do we do now? Then we heard that the airways are closed.
So you were scheduled to fly out that day? Huh? You were scheduled to fly out? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. We were scheduled to fly out that very day. We didn't even go to the airport because we heard that, the whole airway was shut down.
Yeah.
And the streets were cleared. I mean, it was an emergency call on the whole city. I mean, the bridges were closed. There was no car on the road. All of a sudden, the whole city stood still.
Yeah.
And you could not even make a phone call to anywhere because the whole system broke down. Everybody tried to make a phone call, and
yeah,
there was no way getting through. So all we did is queued for hours and hours to get to the reception, because the reception at the hotel was also crowded. Everybody wanted to see whether they can rebook their rooms or what to do. And
yeah,
we queued there for a while, and then we prolonged our stay. First of all, tried to call home, couldn't get through, and then we heard, no, I think we heard the night before at which hotel Michael was staying at.
yeah.
And then after we realized there's not much we can do, we said maybe we can see who else is from Europe is still around. Let's check Michael's hotel, because I'm sure some of the fans would maybe gather around there.
Yeah.
We went there, and then we heard that Michael had left. He was not flying back, but he kind of the bodyguards told the fans that they're bringing him to some safe place, because I think in the hotel he stayed, it was the New York Palace.
Yeah.
And what we heard was that there were some politicians residing as well in that hotel.
Okay.
And Michael was a little bit worried that it might be at the next target because of that. So they brought him to another place, and I later learned that he went to the Catskills.
Yes.
He went to New Jersey. And then we were there for some time, and I thought, okay, so Michael left and we are here, and we tried to call our embassy, and the embassies were not helping. We were just like left on our own. We heard the president was in a hideout. Nobody knows where the president is. Michael is gone. We were like,
what's going on?
Wow, we are left on our own to die. That's how it felt.
Yeah.
And then Michael's bodyguards returned. And they were like, hello, guys. And they came back just like in the Moonwalker movie, like Katie sitting there, all sad. Michael is gone. I want him to come back.
Yeah.
And they came back just like Michael out of this fog, you know?
Yeah.
Like, hi, guys, here we are.
Wow.
And then they said, so we are back here and we're going to stay here. And we are instructed to stay here until each one of you is back at home. So we are not leaving until all of you are back home.
Oh, wow.
And then they asked, so who is hungry? Who doesn't have a place to stay? Who needs a place to sleep? Who has an injury? Whatever,
wow.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they took care of us each day and checked on us, like I would say, every 2-3 hours.
Oh, wow.
Like they came down from the hotel and they started talking to us, and you know, they gave some of them like a tour bus. They could play games and watch DVDs and had a good time in there.
Wow.
And then they went back into the hotel and they were counting how many of them have not eaten. And then they came back with like these huge boxes from the hotel, and with menus, steak and fish and rice and chips, and I mean, not like just something from McDonald's or so. No, like real menus.
Wow.
And treated them like royalty. I mean, there I saw who Michael was, basically. Like, there was a girl who had an issue with her ankle and she wanted to go to the hospital, and she was like humping a little bit. She couldn't walk properly anymore, and they asked her, so what about you? We see that something is wrong with your foot. And she goes, yeah, I was running around behind Michael's limo. It was had nothing to do with 9/11 or so. And I was running around behind Michael's limo, and I twisted my ankle, and now I feel it hurts me and so on. And they said, Did you go and check it with the doctors? And she said, I mean, the hospitals are full with people
Yeah.
from the terror attacks, and they didn't want to treat me. I don't have the insurance and so on, so I couldn't get anything. And they said, let's go. Michael gonna pay for your medical care and so on. And so that
Wow.
we're gonna take care of that. And they took her. And
Wow.
she got her treatment. Yeah. I mean, they did
It's
everything they could
amazing. Yeah.
for days on end. And
So
it
you were
was,
stuck there for a few more days.
yeah, I tried to, later on, tried to reach the airline over and over and over again. And then when I finally got to speak to them, they said they gave me like the earliest date a week later.
Wow.
So, and then also that was like a huge topic for the bodyguards, because they were constantly asking who is flying and when are you flying, and they kept keeping track.
Wow.
And they were like sometimes, damn, no, because they also wanted to go home.
Yeah.
But Michael's instruction was serious. He was like, we are not leaving until all of them are good, and they would report back to him how many have left and how many flew back home and from which countries they were and so on. So they
Amazing.
came checking, okay, so counting how many are still around and how many had a flight. And when I said to one of them that I have to stay another week, they were like just rolling their eyes. They were like, holy heck, no. We want to go home.
Wow.
And I said, you can go home. It's no problem. I won't tell Michael. And he goes, no, it's not happening. As long as you guys are here, we are not leaving, you know?
Wow. So you must have gotten to know his staff quite well over that time.
Yes, exactly. So what then happened, I think on the third day, there was like a bomb threat at the Empire State Building. And we were sitting in front of Michael's hotel, and some other fans came running with their bathing robe and their bathing slippers, just like that, running towards Michael's hotel. And we're like, what's happening? And they said, yeah, we were just like in the shower, and we didn't know that there were loudspeakers in the hotel, but obviously they are, because all of a sudden we heard, bomb, bomb, get out of the building right now. And we were just running. And then they evacuated the whole area, and the hotel, I mean, I think they stayed also in the same hotel like we did. And that was just across the street from Madison Square Garden, and also on the other side, almost also just across the street from Empire State Building. That's all very close.
Yeah.
So because there was a bomb threat in the Empire State Building and the hotel was so close, they evacuated our hotel as well, you know, not just the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
And then they closed down the whole area on a wide range. The police closed everything down, and they started searching for a bomb. And then it was closed for quite some time. And we were like, man, and we are going back to this hotel. We felt all like, who knows whether they're gonna really search so well and really checked every corner, and you know, I mean, and this time it was not like just the bomb threat. There was a terror attack right before. I mean, you took it serious right there. It was no joke. You were like, you never know what the next thing gonna be.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we stayed at Michael's hotel talking the whole afternoon, and sometimes they went back to check whether these security, how do you call this, these yellow security lines, when they block the streets.
Oh, yeah.
Whether they have lifted those, and it was still blocked, and then they came back and they checked again. And after a while, they said it's cleared, and they checked everything, and it was false alert.
Yeah.
And then we were like, I don't know. I don't want to go back right now.
Yeah.
Let us stay here, and let's just stay together right here. And then we stayed for quite some time till it started getting dark. And then these security guards came back out every 2-3 hours checking on us. And they came back out and said, I mean, now it's getting late. It's still Manhattan. It's not Europe, you know. I mean, guys, there's still crime on the street, and it would be better if you now go back to your hotels. And we're like, yeah, we're gonna go any minute. And they came back a half an hour later. We were still there talking. And they're like, but you said you're gonna leave. And we're like, yeah, we are going any minute. To say we're gonna come back in a half an hour, and please, we want to see the area empty.
Yeah.
You know, we want to see that you guys left. And we're like, yeah, okay. And after half an hour, they came back out, and we were still there. And they go, yeah, girls.
Oh no.
We're like, sorry. and then they said, okay, no, we are not joking anymore. Here is the tour bus. And they took us like a taxi, you know, like they put everybody inside and said, okay, we're driving you guys back to your hotel. We are done.
Oh wow, in the tour bus.
Yeah, it was like a mini bus or something, you know, something like a mini bus. And then I think we were like around 8 people at that time.
Yeah.
And
wow.
One of the guys was Mike. One of his bodyguards was Mike, and the other's name was Henry.
Yep.
So Mike sat quite close to me when we were driving back. And he said, do you feel safe in your hotel? Like talking very quietly to me. And I said, well, I mean, it's very close to the Empire State Building. I don't really know. And he said, okay, so I got a surprise for you. But later, when the other ones left, when the other ones are back in their hotels, I was like, okay, what's happening? And then they brought each and every one back to their hotel. You know, they were not all in the same hotel.
Yeah.
And then in the end, we started driving towards our hotel, and Henry was driving, so he just parked. We stood right in front of our hotel, and Mike said to Henry, so Henry, I just told Chantal, so I was asking her whether she feels safe in her hotel, and asking my other friend, and how about you? You feel safe in your hotel? And she said, I mean, we had a bomb threat. Look how close the Empire State Building is. Not really. And then Mike said, would you feel better if you slept in Michael's hotel?
Ooh.
We were like, what? Yeah.
What do you say? nah, it's okay. We'll stay here.
Yeah. So they said, okay, so then that's what we are doing. We didn't have so many spare rooms for each one there, but we have one spare room, so you can come with us.
How nice.
So that we went all the way back, and then we stayed in Henry's room for a while the room was prepared by room service, by
housekeeping.
You know, by these people who are housekeeping. Yeah. And we started sitting there and talking about how we became a fan and discussing with these two guys, and we felt like this is so surreal.
Yeah.
We're in his inner circle now. I mean, wow. Now they really know us. Like, felt like a jackpot.
And they were lovely guys.
They were very, very lovely. And then they said, after a while, the room was ready. And then they said, so would you like to have brunch with us tomorrow? So when you have slept, you can just ring us up and then we have brunch together.
Cool.
Sure. And then we spent the night in our hotel room, and then we went back to Henry's room, and then they started, ordering. Literally like in Pretty Woman, like, what do you want for breakfast? I said, like a croissant and a coffee. It's fine. No, that's not happening. Scrambled eggs and bacon and waffles and strawberries and whipped cream and sausages and fruits and fruit juice. And it didn't stop when the room service came. It was like, wow, the table was full, and we were like, oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that's not from us. You don't have to say thank you to us. That's Michael. You know, it was the entire time, whenever we said thank you so much, they said, not to us.
Yeah.
That's the boss.
That's the boss. You know? Wow.
Yeah. So, and then
Amazing.
I looked around in the room, in Henry's room, and I said, huh? You're having like, I think like 8 moving boxes, you know? What are these boxes? And there's written fan stuff on it. And Henry said, oh, that's your guys' presents that we gathered throughout the days. Like your letters, your presents, your gifts, your whatever, your banners. That's your guys' stuff. I said, and what you gonna do with 8 boxes? And then they said, yeah, shipping it to Neverland. What? You're shipping 8 moving boxes to Neverland? Yeah. Nothing is thrown away. Everything goes to Neverland. And I said, but that's a lot of additional luggage. She said, yeah. I couldn't believe it. I mean,
that's all the stuff that you had given to Michael,
all
like
the
security.
stuff that the fans gave to him during the days he was there.
Oh, wow.
Like they came down gathering presents all the time, you know, like, and then bringing them to him. And then it was all packed. And I said, and then what does he do with all these things? And I mean, it was extreme. It went to even posters, like the banners that fans drew and so on, you know, we king of pop and we love you and whatever. Even if they were gathering those, they were packed and shipped to Neverland. And we also had to, and then they said to us, do you remember when we are gathering presents, we are always telling you, write your phone number, your address, your name on it, your email address.
Yeah.
Because what happens with these boxes is he has a room at Neverland where all those fan gifts come inside. And then sometimes he can't sleep. And then he takes 1 or 2 boxes and he spreads them on his bed and starts reading your letters and so on. And he wants to know who. And sometimes he made phone calls.
Yeah.
Sometimes he called fans and thanked them for their letters and so on.
Yeah.
I mean, to me,
amazing.
That New York trip, all that I saw was a testament to who he was.
Yeah.
A confirmation of who he truly was.
Yeah.
And I mean, he had a heart.
Yeah.
Of gold. I mean, so to me, they can say whatever they want. I saw it firsthand. And I mean, I'm one person who saw it. And these stories, as you know, you wrote the book. These stories, they are endless.
Yes.
They're countless. They are, I mean, from the moment he was a child and he handed out candies to the neighborhood to the day he passed. I mean, it's endless.
Yeah.
There was another time later in my story where he also reacted. I later had the contacts of Mike, and one of my friend's mother passed, and he was really in a bad place. Another Michael fan. And I didn't make much use of the phone number that I had. I had Mike Laparuki's phone number after some time. He's head of security. And that day I called him and I said, he's in a really, really bad place. It would be, could you maybe, you know, the way he cares about Catherine, could you maybe tell him about this? You know, maybe he would like to reach out. It's not that if he doesn't, it's fine, but maybe it could help him in this tough time, you know?
Yeah.
And he said,
so you just wanted to do something to help your friend.
Yes. Yes. And it was not like a pity call or something, you know, it was just, I didn't ask for much or use that number a lot, but there I felt he's really in a bad spot. And I said, I mean, asking doesn't cost me anything. And if it's no, then I will never tell my friend that it was a no. You know, I would just keep it to myself.
Yeah.
And he sent a parcel, you know, he sent a message and
Michael did.
Michael did, yeah. I got the parcel from MJJ Productions. And it had 2 autographs in it, one for me and one for my friend. I didn't ask for one for me. And when I opened it, I saw the one for myself first, and I was like, no. I was like, no, he fucked it up. Like, I didn't want one for myself. And then I realized there was another one behind it, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah,
Wow.
that's what and he wrote him like a message of comfort and so on. And then I remember made a whole happening out of it. I wrapped it in a nice envelope and,
Beautiful.
like made a whole a celebration out of it. I played Keep the Faith and I said, close your eyes. And
Oh,
Michael knows about your loss and so on. And he was so happy.
that's amazing.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just all and everything. Like, even there, he considered me as well. Why? I mean, that's
Yeah.
just so typically Michael.
Just
Like,
the little things.
the little thing. He not only reached out, he also considered the person who asked. It's like it's endless.
Yeah.
And
He always goes that little bit further, doesn't
yeah,
he? Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing.
So yeah, that was what I witnessed at in September there, and I will never forget.
You finally got home safely.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So, but what these two guys said to us was, they asked us, of course, so have you met Michael ever? And I said, no, that's one of my biggest dreams.
Yeah.
And then they said, if you can keep a secret, we can tell you something. We are planning some Europe trips soon, and just make sure you're going to be around. We see you. Man, I mean, there, Michael was an entire different person. I mean, he started opening his window. Every time he drove out with the van, you came to the car, you could like literally interact with him. And
Yeah.
he changed.
Yeah.
He wasn't so unreachable anymore. I don't know. I still realize that some other friends of mine, they tried to get to the car, they tried to get closer to him, and still it never worked out for them. But for me, something shifted. For me, it was like I got to the window of his van when he was driving in and out of the hotel so many times.
Yeah.
And I remember him I remember shaking his hand one time. Another time I would go like, I love you, Michael. And he go, I love you too. And then I was like thinking, because there are so many other people around me and there's so much chaos, he doesn't hear me. I just continued, I love you, I love you. And he came like really close with his face to the window, like our faces would have touched, and he goes, I love you too.
Wow.
He's talking to me for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
And the fun thing was when I arrived, I think a couple of hours later, Mike came out, and then I ran across the street, and then Mike, and he goes, Chantal.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then everybody was like, hey, how do these two know each other?
Yeah.
And then he also did it on a regular basis, that he came down from the hotel and speak to the fans and gather presents, and then went back in when his arms were full,
Yeah.
And I think on the second day he came back out and said to some fans, who gave me that gift yesterday and this gift yesterday and that one yesterday? And the fans went, me. And he goes, he wants to meet you, he wants to meet you, he wants to meet you.
Oh, wow.
And there were like 7 people he selected and said, tomorrow you have to be here at this and this time because he wants to meet you guys. And then I was standing there like this, saying nothing.
Just looking at Mike.
I was just waiting, like, do you still remember what you promised me,
Yeah.
And he just realized, he looked at me after some time and said, what's going on with you? Why are you like standing here in the corner and all quiet and sad a little bit? And I said, do you remember what you promised me in New York? And he said, yeah, I remember. You know what? You tomorrow too. Try to be here 7 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm going to take you along with the other guys and you're going to meet him tomorrow. And then I went to a friend's house where I stayed for the whole trip, and he said, "Hey, have you seen the Virgin Megastore signing?" And I said, bits of it, because the streaming, the live stream was constantly crashing down, you know.
Yeah.
And he said, I have a video, a 3 or 4 hours video of the whole thing. Do you want to watch it? And I said, yeah, maybe parts of it, because I should sleep well, you know, because I have to be standing up tomorrow.
I was going to say, how do you sleep knowing you're going to meet Michael Jackson in the morning?
Yeah. I said, probably I can't sleep. And we ended up watching the entire thing. So it was like 4 in the morning. And I said, God, I'm going to look horrible meeting him, you know. I'm dead tired. And he goes, is it not better if you stay up and you don't go to sleep at all, so that, you know, you don't miss to go and so on? I said, yeah, but I want to just close my eyes maybe for an hour. And I overslept, you know.
Oh, no.
I overslept. I woke up in the morning and I had like 15 minutes before the train was going.
Oh, no. What?
And I started, like, I wanted, you know how girls are. I wanted to do my hair, my makeup, and look cute, you know.
Of course, yeah.
And no. I had to run
Well,
out
you
the
look
door.
great. I've got the photo here in front of me. You look great. You look like you've got some makeup on.
No,
You look
that was
pretty.
another meeting.
Oh, was it?
That was another
Oh,
meeting.
okay.
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry.
So I kept running and running and running, and then right when I wanted to ran down and got up on the other side and tried to go to the tracks. The train was already standing there. I tried to press, the train left. I was like, no! I started stomping there on the train tracks. I was like, that can only happen to you, only to you. I hated myself. I was like, this is my biggest day. This is my biggest day, literally. The day I dreamt of, and this is what I'm doing. I was so mad at myself. And then the next train was going like a half an hour later. And then I called my friend where I was staying at and said, I missed the damn train. And he goes, shit, what are you going to do now? I said, I don't know. And he said, yeah, do you want to come back to my house? And I said, no, the next train is in a half an hour. So I'm just waiting here on the damn train tracks and for the next train and so on. But I hate myself and I hate myself. And then took the next train, and then then I had to change from the train station again to a tube station, and then take the tube and then change the tube station again, and running up and down the stairs and so on. Oh my God. I was so sweating when I arrived at the hotel, and I was like, you know, and then my friends came around the corner. Chantal, where were you? Mike was looking for you. I said, oh, they're gone. And they said, no, they're still here. And I'm like, oh my God, thanks God.
Yeah.
So that morning was crazy. Yeah, and then I think it took another 2 hours until Michael came to gather the fans.
Oh, really? Typical.
Yeah, exactly. No, but the reason why I thought we really by all means have to be there, I think it was 7 in the morning, you know, and why I believed it was serious is because Mike said that day we're going to take the train to Exeter and we cannot miss that train. It has to be on time and we have to do it early in the morning. So I thought they have left. I was sure they have left, but no. Yeah, and then he came out and said, called all of us, you know, that he told the evening before that that we should be here. And then he said to me, where have you been? I've been looking for you already. So I overslept. So okay, but now let's go inside. And so and then we were walking in, and Mike said, are you nervous? I said, oh, very.
Yeah.
And then we came inside the hotel, And then there was the elevator, and he said, so what I'm going to do with you guys is I'm going to just like make like a half circle. You stand around the elevator. So when he comes out, he just sees you guys right away. And then there were some other fans there in the lobby that were constantly in the lobby waiting for Michael, you know?
Yeah.
And then they were like, wanted to also go and stand in that circle. And then he said, you guys are meeting him every day. You're waiting over there. This is now the moment for these people, you know? And they were like,
yeah.
Yeah, and we were like, yes. So this is our moment. And then he said, okay, so I'm going to bring him down any minute. And then we stood there, all 8 of us around the elevator waiting. And after some time, he came out with Michael. And for me, everybody in the room disappeared. I mean, I saw only Michael. I was like, this is unbelievable. This is really happening. And so Mike introduced each and every one of these 8 people, of these 7 other people. So this is the fan that gave you this and this gift yesterday, and that you wanted to meet. And you know, Michael was interacting. Oh, I love that, and thank you so much. And how did you do that? And how did you come to this amazing idea and whatever? So that went on for all other 7 fans, and then I was standing there, and I was like, "But what does he say about me? Because I didn't give him an amazing gift, and he asked to see me." So, and when we walked in, he also said, "We really have to rush. We're already running late to catch this train to Exeter. So no pictures and no autographs. Just a quick meet and greet, right?"
Yeah.
So I was there with my poster and my pen and my photo camera and my camera, and I was like, okay, so what will he say when he comes to me? Because I didn't give a gift. He didn't ask himself to meet me. I cannot ask for an autograph or a picture. What am I doing here? You know? And then when it was my turn, Mike just said, so this is Chantal from Switzerland, and she's a huge fan, and she wants an autograph. And I wanted to fall in a black hole and disappear in shame because nobody asked for an autograph. Yes, I was like, I felt like no one else asked, you know, and now I'm here asking, you know, like, I was ashamed. I was a little bit ashamed about it. And then Michael said, yeah, sure. Do you have a pen? Do you have something to sign? And so on. And I said, yes. And I opened that poster and gave him a pen. And he said, oh, that's my mother's favorite picture. It was this black and white picture of Michael at the Moonwalker set, where he smiles so sweetly, you know, with his head tilted to the side, with a beautiful smile, black and white photo.
Yeah.
So that's my mother's favorite picture. I said, yeah.
Wow.
That's mine too. Don't you like it? And he said, well, he looked at it again. So. Michael, you are gorgeous. Yeah. And then he gave me back my poster and my pen and said, nice to meet you. And I said, nice to meet you. And he turned around and I was like, no, I want a hug. I want a hug.
Yeah.
Then I tapped him on his shoulder and said, sorry. And he said, yes. And I said, I think the right term is, may I hug you? Right?
Yeah.
May I hug you? I said, can I have a hug?
Yeah, you can say that too.
You can say that too? Yeah. So I felt, because he asked like 5 times, can you get the what? Can you get the what? Can you get the what? And his ear came closer to my mouth each time. And I was like, am I saying it the wrong way? Oh, I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
And then he go, oh, a hug.
Slang.
I don't know how he had this slang, right?
Yeah.
This from Gary, Indiana, or whatever. He had this kind of a way that he said it, pronounced it. Oh, a hug. And I said, yes. He said, sure.
Oh, wow.
And he gave me a hug. And then all the other 7 were like, can I also get a hug? Can I also have one? Can I also?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it was quite quick, and then he had to leave. And they said, okay, so we have to go. We have to catch the train.
Yeah.
And then everybody left. So that was my first one-to-one meeting. And then after that, I also did the Sony protest in New York.
Yeah. Oh, I went back to
there. Yes, I traveled again to the US, and I traveled that time on my own. I thought, yeah, I know New York now. I spent so much time in New York after 9/11. I know my ways around streets and so on. I know how to handle a trip, and I'm surely gonna meet other fans once I'm in New York.
Yeah.
I went to the Sony protest. I missed the Harlem thing, the speech he held about racism and the music industry and, what Sony was doing and so on. I entirely missed that. I had no idea that he held a speech there and that I could have gone there. The first thing I did was the Sony protest in New York. And there he also came on a bus, but the vibe was totally different than in London. In London, I mean, you could follow his car, you could run to the streets, and it was like all like a big happening. In New York, there was cops telling you, if you're gonna step on the road, we're gonna arrest you, you're gonna go to jail. It was tough. Like, you could feel the tension. It was different.
Yeah.
And Michael himself also, he wore a life vest,
Yeah.
You could feel, and he was like, he came and he was gone so quickly. Like in London, he took time, he collected banners, he really stayed for a while, interacting on the protest. In New York, it was very fast and he was gone.
Sounds intense.
It was intense. I think because it was the Sony protest in front of the Sony building, New York.
Yeah.
Where was Motola located? Probably there, right?
Yeah, I would say different. So.
Yeah. So that was like really at the center of where we were addressing the protests, So
wow.
That was real, like, I think headquarters, I would assume.
Yeah.
Right? Headquarters of Sony Music, Tommy Mottola. Yeah, that was different. And then after that, there was something similar, like the Killer Thriller party. It was called 30 Years of Magic, another fan party.
Oh.
And he attended there as well. Yes.
Oh.
It was at the Webster Hall in New York.
Okay. Oh,
the very same thing. He announced it at the Webster Hall. I'm going to be there. He also didn't announce there that he's going to be at the Sony protest. So he did basically the same in New York, like he did it in London, and he only announced the Webster Hall. But because he attended the Sony protest in London, fans were kind of figuring, I thought he's going to come again.
Yeah.
In London, I missed it entirely. I went to the protest, but because we didn't know and we still had to go and collect the tickets for the Killer Thriller party, which was just soon after, we said, I think we have to go and queue now. And we left the protest and missed completely when he came.
Yeah.
So at that time, we were queuing to get our tickets for the Killer Thriller thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens sometimes, when you're doing these types of things. You see one thing, you miss another,
Yeah. And that wasn't the last time you saw Michael?
So we are now at July 2002. And then I think the next thing was Berlin. Oh, about Berlin, I could talk like
really?
5 hours only about Berlin.
I'm going to have to do a lot of editing.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to shorten it a little bit, but so many things happened.
That's all right. You just tell me everything you want to tell
So
me.
what I did is I bought a little Mickey statue, was maybe like this big,
Yeah.
but with the boxes and the foam around it for protection, and so it was quite a big box. I bought that for Michael as a present. I needed to have a present, obviously,
This time.
this time. And
So he's coming to Germany. You found out that he was coming to Germany.
yes, I forgot how he
Was
announced
that
that
for
one.
Wet Daz? Oh.
For the
Oh,
Bambi
yes,
Award.
Bambi Awards. Yep.
Bambi Awards, yeah. So I forgot how he announced that one, actually.
Yeah.
But I bought him this Mickey statue. Mickey Mouse looked like a little French painter, and then he had like a frame, and in that frame I added a photo of myself. So I went to make a photo session. First of all, I agreed with another friend to stay at the hotel for a night. I think for 1 or 2 nights we wanted to book into Adlon, Hotel Adlon.
The same one that Michael was staying
The
at.
same one that Michael stayed, yeah. It was just right at the Brandenburger Tor.
Yes.
And so because we had a room in there, I checked inside the room together with my friend, and I put my present in the room, and we waited in the lobby when he arrived. And we waited for hours and hours. I mean, the nice thing about telling the story is that you don't have to wait all the hours that we waited, until something finally happened. But following Michael and all was always like a lot of waiting.
Yeah.
And that gets lost in the stories, how many times waited and waited for days on end and hours and hours. Thinking. So I was very, very, very happy when I saw the crowd. I was like, yeah, now he's getting the welcome he deserves,
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, when he arrived, he could have easily entered in the back of the hotel and go up to his hotel suite and not cause the commotion he did. But he deliberately went in the front where the whole crowd was, where everybody could see him, and it was chaotic. It was like a whole happening when he arrived, and fans started running in with him and behind him, and the corridor was totally full, because fans came in with him, and security and whatever. And we were in there, and we heard the commotion outside when he arrived, and I was like, he's coming. And then we started standing up, and then all these people who were in the lobby started standing up and started removing their cameras from their bags and so on. They were all paparazzis. And I was like, oh, they are paparazzis,
Yeah,
so
wow.
The whole lobby was full with paparazzi. And then all these paparazzis were standing in the way, and like they left little gaps, but I couldn't barely see anything. I'm very short, and I'm like, damn, they're all standing in the way. And then I saw like this circle of people, and somehow Michael must be in the middle of this circle of people moving and coming. And within seconds, I just combine. I'm like, okay, so this circle is moving and coming, and I'm over here. So if I walk like this, and the circle comes like that, in so and so many seconds, he must be approximately here.
Mathematics.
And and I was like, just calculating in my head. Okay, so I go over there, and then I just sneaked through those legs, and ducked. And when I stood right up and stood straight ahead, he stood right in front of me. And I go, hi, Michael. And he goes, hi. And he was shoved away. And I was like, so fast. And then when he was gone, and he was like brought to the elevator right away, the whole corridor cleared again, because he was gone. And I turned around and looked at one of my friends, and she goes, where is he? Where is he? I didn't even see him. And I said, I just shook his hand. And she goes, how? What the heck?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I just kind of went through the legs. I don't know. And then he was in. And then it took. Then he started already at the window. I mean, it was in Berlin, it was like constant.
Yeah.
He gave us so much in Berlin. So, I mean, the world remembers the baby dangling incident, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows the baby dangling incident. And that's what Berlin is famous for. And to me, it hurts my heart because Berlin was so amazing.
Yeah.
So amazing. And all that people remember is that image.
The people that weren't there anyway.
Yeah. And it's so far from what it really was, because this man in Berlin, he gave and gave and gave and gave and gave. From the morning he woke up till the evening he went to bed, he constantly gave. And I saw it 1-to-1 because we were there the entire time, and we were in a very unique position because one of the German girls was living in Berlin, and she knew Berlin very, very, very well. And so she had a Vespa, and she was faster than cars and anybody. And she caught him almost every time when he went somewhere. And we were connected now with cell phones, because before you didn't have cell phones, mobile phones. And there we started being connected. We could say, okay, one is waiting in the back, one is waiting in front, one is calling another one. And we almost saw him all the time wherever he went, all of a sudden, because we were all connected and we all helped each other out. And so I witnessed almost like his whole entire day, because I was almost everywhere where he went. And I saw how much he gave, like everywhere he went. Like you see it like isolated. Usually you see he steps outside of the hotel and waves at the crowd, and maybe goes to a venue and holds a speech. And you see like one incident or pictures from an incident, but you don't know what he did
in between
first, and then after, and then after, and then after, and how he interacts everywhere he is. And then maybe somebody would say, if like a superstar gave some people some autographs, but then goes to a next place and doesn't have time, and there are also people waiting, they might say, oh, he didn't even sign anything, he wasn't even friendly or whatever, but I saw this man, like wherever he went, doing the same thing all the time. Like if he was in one place, he would sign and sign and sign and sign, and give fans the time they wanted, or the attention they craved so much. And then he went to the next place and he did that all over again. And then he came back to the hotel, and then he started waving from the window for all those who didn't missed him wherever he went.
And it's an exchange of energy, isn't it?
He gave everything of himself. Everything he could, he gave to people. And there I really saw that. I was like, it's amazing what he does. And then when we didn't see him and he didn't show, maybe for a couple of minutes, he would be inside the hotel and meet a family that he invited to Neverland, and because they lost their home in a floods or whatever, or meet fans that he allowed to come up to his suite, and he didn't show for a minute. Like he was constant. He was a constant giver. And after Michael arrived, we got kicked out from the hotel right away. We haven't slept the night in that hotel. I think one of the cleaning ladies or so must have seen my Mickey and figured I was a fan. And they tossed us right out. So I wasn't.
You had hired a room there, yeah? You had paid for a room?
Yeah, but they said because of we wanted to go back to our room, and we wanted to use our key, and the key was no longer working. And then we went to the reception, and they said, well, there's a security issue. We can't have you as a guest. And I said, we are not a security issue. And they said, no, obviously you're a Michael Jackson fan, so we have to ask you to leave.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This guy who danced in the Basio special, like if you remember,
yes,
Michael is laughing so
up.
hard about this guy who is constantly trying to do a kick and a spin and never finishes.
Yeah.
And then they're speeding off already. And Michael is laughing so hard about that. That guy and me and an artist who did amazing drawings of him in different scenarios and so on went up. We were 3 people.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we were allowed to go up to his suite, and then we went first into Mike's room, and we got my Mickey, and we took it out of my box, and then Mike gave it into my hand, and it felt like so heavy all of a sudden, like I couldn't barely stand. My knees were all weak. He goes, you have to hold it yourself. I said, I know, but I don't know what's happening. I'm so nervous because it felt like meeting royalty, like
of course,
such a huge moment, like an audition on his suite, like it felt so special. I mean, and also I remember when we were down there and I was still in the Starbucks, they said, call Mike again. And I said, no, what do I want after the gallery? I mean, we had him like 20 something minutes. I'm definitely not going to call. And nevertheless, I'm still up here after all that, So then he knocked on the door and Michael said, who is it? And I heard him through the door, And then Mike said, it's me, it's Mike. I'm bringing some guests. And he goes, yeah, come in. And I just, when Mike opened the door, I just saw him wearing the mask. I just saw him quickly without the mask. And you could see not like black and white spots of the vitiligo, but you could see that there are, like that he didn't wear makeup. Like you could see that there are different colorization. You could see it a little bit, like spots where he was light-skinned and spots that were darker. And when he had his makeup on, you couldn't see these things in his face. So I could see it for a moment. And then he just wore his mask.
Okay.
And then we came in, and then Prince, I mean, the kids were in the suite, right? So Prince was the first one. He just came running towards us with a water pistol and started shooting us. And then Michael stood right up and kneeled down in front of me to talk to Prince on his level, and said, Prince, behave, we have guests. Behave. Like, it was so cute because you could see him now really like a dad,
Yeah.
And then Prince was just like, okay, daddy, and was running off. And Paris, I think she just came in once very quickly, looked at us a little bit shy, and then went with Grace to another room. And then I stood there, and the other 2 were standing there, and we were all like a little bit shy what to do. And then Mike said, push me towards Michael first, because I held my gift, And Michael was sitting on the back down on his sofa, and there was a sofa in the room, a coffee table, a piano. It was a large room, and then there were several other rooms. I mean, it was the presidential suite, so there were several like different bedrooms and so on, in like a living room area, So he sat on that sofa, and Mike started pushing me a little bit towards Michael, like, go and show him your gift. And I was lost of words. I mean, I didn't know how to talk anymore. I was standing in front of him. I felt like I'm back 9 years old.
Yeah.
And this is Michael from Moonwalker, you know, like, and then I just tried to find some words to say. I mean, I don't know, I rambled stupid stuff like, yeah, I saw this Mickey in a store, and I thought that you're gonna like it, and so on. And Michael realized that I'm lost of words, you know, and he just stood up and said, I love it, and opened his arms, you know. And I was so happy because this hug came from him, you know. So he took me in his arms and held me. And then I wanted to let go of him because I felt like, yeah, okay, but I'm still a stranger, even if I want to hold on to him forever. I'm a stranger to him. And I wanted to let go. And he just pulled me more closer, you know. And I felt like he just has this feeling of, you know, they just started reading of his own encounters with his own idols, you know, like Shirley Temple or Smokey Robinson, that he could never forget how Smokey Robinson's hand felt and that he was telling everybody, or how he broke down in tears when he met Shirley Temple and told her, you have no idea how much this means to me. You saved my life, you know, these kind of things that we would tell him, you know. And there, when he just held on tighter once more, I just felt like he just gets it, you know, like without words, he knows. You just need a little bit more. You need the moment to last a little bit longer, although you want to be polite, you know. He just had this extra layer of empathy to know exactly what to do and how to do it, you know.
It's those
and
little
that's
things.
when I started briefing, really, you know, like when he was the one who just, you know, it's okay, come, I'm here, you know. That's where I started like, you know,
beautiful,
relaxing a little bit and calming down a little bit, you know. And then I asked whether we can take a photo together. And that's when we did the photo. And he goes, where do you want to take the picture? And I said, Michael, I don't care. I don't care where. And he said, okay, so I choose. I'm standing. Is the piano okay? I said, I mean, sure.
In the bed. Get in the bed, Michael.
I mean, it doesn't matter where, right? So, and then I was explaining the camera to Mike, and Michael was standing there, and he wore only socks. He didn't wear his shoes, you know, his loafers, and he was like there, like a little child, like waiting like this until I'm done explaining, and then I just grabbed him, and he just did it also, you know. I just thought, okay, so I dare to just take you in my arms now.
It's such a nice photo.
Yeah. And at first I was a little bit shy, but he just showed right away that it's perfectly fine for him, you know.
Yeah.
And we took that photo, and then I said, just one more, just 2 weeks. Because I think that was still the time where you had to develop the films, you know. You didn't know. It was not a DigiCam. It was the time I had a camera with film inside. So I was so scared something will happen to the film.
The photos are gone, huh?
Whatever. If you open it, and actually when I went to develop them, it nearly happened. I did this I think 1 hour service, 1 hour development service. And I came an hour later and I said, yeah, I'm picking up the photos. And I gave her this receipt, you know, to search for the number. And she goes and searches here and searches there and searches there. And I see her becoming more and more nervous, not finding it. And she comes back, I'm sorry, I can't find it. I swear.
Oh,
and I'm like,
God.
You can't, no, you can't be doing this to me. You can't be doing this to me. You can't be serious. And she goes, I searched everywhere. She goes down, she comes up, she goes, I can't find it. I said, You can't be doing this to me. This is me and Michael Jackson on those pictures, you know. And she goes, oh, those pictures.
Oh, they had them somewhere
You're right
special.
here.
Yeah.
So I can imagine what happened in that Photoshop, you know.
Yeah.
They probably were all like, look.
Yeah.
Somebody met Michael Jackson. Oh, those pictures. They're right here. My God, I nearly had a heart attack.
Yeah, I could imagine. I was going to say, if I took that film to be developed, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to wait here and watch you while you develop.
Yeah, that would have been better. That would have been a better idea.
I'm not leaving. Amazing. Amazing.
And then this guy, Michael, said, so then the other guy, the dancer from the street, that was his turn. So I stood aside with my book in my hands. And then Michael said to that guy, yeah, I saw you dancing on the streets and you could never finish your choreography and so on. And I found that hilarious and so on. And do you like to dance for me now? And he goes, oh, it would be an honor to dance for you. And he goes, sure, okay. So Prince, Paris, showtime. He's gonna dance for us. And then they sat next to him. One side was Prince, one side was Paris. Then Grace came in with blanket and sat him on Michael's lap. It was a picture I will never forget.
Wow.
And then he was like, you're gonna dance for us. Are you excited? And so on. And then he called another bodyguard. He goes, Chris, do we have some music? Do we have some CDs and so on? And the bodyguard started looking through Michael's own CDs, you know, like, because I constantly wondered, why is he going to record stores and then sometimes buys his own music?
Yep.
Why? But then it started making sense, probably to sometimes have one spare one to sign if a fan would like to have an autograph and didn't have anything.
Yep.
Or maybe, yeah, if a fan wants to dance for him so that he has his own music available, you know? So, yeah, so this bodyguard started looking through the CDs. He had a couple of CDs there. And then he asked the kids, to which song should he dance? And Prince goes, do you remember that Prince said later that he had no idea how famous Michael was and that he was a famous singer and all that?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yep.
That's 5-year-old Prince right there and goes, Thriller!
Ah.
I will tell him one day and say, I'm not so sure you didn't know.
There you go. Well, I'll send him this.
So he goes, Thriller! And Michael goes, so he should dance to Thriller? Okay. So he goes to the bodyguard, do you have Thriller? And he goes and shows him the bad CD, I don't know. And then Michael goes, Michael goes, Thriller is on the Thriller album.
Oh my goodness.
That's so hard. Like, Thriller is on the Thriller album.
Not the bad album. How funny.
So he kept looking and looking. I think he didn't have the Thriller album. Then he tossed in a greatest hits, and then The Way You Make Me Feel was playing. And that was such a full circle moment for me.
Yeah,
you know,
that's how it began.
The Way You Make Me Feel started playing, and I was like, oh, that's one of my favorites. And then Michael said, could you also perform to The Way You Make Me Feel? And the guy said, oh, sure, I can also dance to The Way You Make Me Feel. So he did the whole performance to The Way You Make Me Feel. And I stood there and thought, unbelievable, because that's how my journey started, right?
Yeah.
And then Michael and the kids were like clapping and shaking and, you know, vibing with the performance. And then when he finished, the fan took like a deep bow in front of Michael. And I felt, yeah, that was really well done. And Michael was like, oh, that was amazing. I could have never done that. And we all three, we were like, yeah, right.
You did it, Michael.
And then you know what he usually says. He said the same thing right there. He said, yeah, I know in front of so many people, I could always perform, but not in front of just a few people.
Yeah.
So I'll be shy. And And then the male fan said to him, "No, Michael, you are the king. You are the true king." And he took a bow in front of him, and I just said, "Exactly. So deserving." I mean, it was a very, very nice,
Yeah.
very, very nice thing, the way the fan handled it and treated him. And also this very special way of how I was allowed to meet him, and the kids were without scarves, they were not hiding their faces, and that was in a time where not many people knew how the kids looked,
Yeah.
And it just was a real honor.
Yeah.
A
It
real
must
honor.
be strange when it gets time for you to leave. Now you're like, that's right. I have a life outside of this
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, so after that, I mean, I think first of all, the guy also took pictures and autograph with him, and then Mike said, "So it's about time to leave." And the artist stayed with him alone. I think he knew her a bit better,
Yeah.
and they had probably had maybe also discussed projects or things he wanted her to
Yeah.
customize or whatever. But we had to leave, and so he said, "So you say your goodbyes," and that was it, And then he escorted us back down, and when we stood down, I said to Mike, I mean, you have no idea what you did for me. And he
Yeah.
goes, it's okay. And I
It's
said,
nothing.
no, I will never forget. I will
Yeah.
never, ever, ever forget. You fulfilled my dream, and more than I ever expected. And one day I'm going to try. It's not on that level, but I'm going to try to make it up to you.
Yeah.
I will never forget you. And I thank you so much.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
It was really. And then I came out from the art lawn, and it was snowing. It was
Oh,
like in a
wow.
fairy tale, I
How
swear. It
special.
was snowing, and then all my friends came and like, what happened? What happened? You was up there so long. And I said, yeah, I will tell you in a minute. Let me just walk a little bit and come down, and then I come right back and I tell you the whole
Wow.
story. Yeah.
And that must be surreal later on when the Martin Bashir documentary comes out and you see him talking about this dancer that was dancing and gets pulled off stage. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's the guy I was
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you put two and two together.
Yeah, of course, I
Crazy.
recognized him right
Straight
away. I
away.
think he's
Yeah.
been doing the same thing in London already. So
Oh, yeah.
I think he tried it for just like I had my trials and errors. He had his own as well.
Yeah. Oh,
Trying
wow.
several times to dance for Michael. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
And you know what? The interviews, I don't know if you've listened or watched any of my interviews that I've done for the podcast,
2 or
but
3 I did.
they're a little bit different in the way of most of them are talking with people that have been affected by Michael's humanitarian efforts. But I did want to speak to you because I knew that hearing your story still spoke about Michael's heart and Michael's, um, uh, his heart of forgiveness and acts of kindness. And I think
Yes.
that's what humanitarian is. It's just being kind and performing one act of kindness and then another act of kindness and being kind here and there. And that's what a humanitarian is. It's nothing special. Any human being can be a
I would say what
humanitarian.
he did. I would say what he did in New York was somewhat also a humanitarian act, because there were people who didn't have places to stay and sleep, and he gave them shelter and food.
Yeah.
And did this United We Stand concert in the aftermath of the whole thing. I mean, so somewhat it's also linked,
Yeah,
It's also
100%.
always part of him. So,
Yeah.
and there
No.
in Berlin, he was also meeting this German family who lost their home in the floods in Germany, and invited them to Neverland. I mean, it was constant while he was being the famous person, the superstar, and adored by fans and followed by fans. He also did the other thing always.
Yeah.
You know.
Just because that's who he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Chantal, I'm gonna have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have to, but I've
No, it's fine.
got stuff I have to do. It's been so nice hearing your stories. And it's been so nice connecting, and I just appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you too. Did you meet him ever?
Yeah, I met him in '96 here in Melbourne
Oh.
on the history tour. So he came
Uh-huh.
here, I think it was October or November '96, and I slept out the front of the hotel.
Uh-huh.
And I met him probably 3 or 4 times during that week. Just out the front of the hotel. He used to come outside of the hotel at night time, and he gave.
Oh, he came out in the night
Yeah,
to
he
talk
get.
to the fans.
Yeah, because during the day there was
Oh.
100 fans, but at night there was only probably like 5 or 6 of us, and so he would
And he
come
came
down.
down.
Yeah,
And
a
what
few
did you talk
times.
about?
Not much because, as you know, when you're in his presence, you just go, I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
you. I love you. And he says, I love
But
you
some
too.
must have asked him some questions, or all were just like, "I love you," or was
I
there
think it
something
was
interesting?
all just like, well, it was more him coming down saying, I see you, I appreciate you, I love you, thanks for your support. I can see it, I
Yeah.
can feel it. And he'd give out flowers one night, and the next night he gave out pizza because we'd been
Mhm.
out there all night. But it was
Ah,
just pretty much him saying, I love you and I appreciate you, thank you. And we just went,
yeah. I mean, he's been doing it all his life.
yeah.
No
And you
matter
could
where you go,
feel.
he's been consistently the same guy. That is what is so mind-boggling when you see the other narrative, you know? I mean,
And that's why it's so important that we keep
and it's
talking about
constant.
it.
It was constant and not wavering. It was always him. It wasn't, he was like that. And
Yeah,
to make it out to be, that was grooming, and that was like manipulation on his part. You didn't see what we saw. I mean, it
yeah,
came so from the heart. It was so genuine, and it was like if somebody puts on an act, it's like
yeah,
you switch it on, you switch it off, you switch it on, you switch it off because you're trying to get something out of it. You have an ulterior motive. But with
yeah,
him, it was constantly the same thing. He was like that.
yeah.
And they just don't get it, you know?
And I
And it's
remember when he was saying to us, thank you for being here and I appreciate you, he would grab our hand and just hold it and go and look in our eyes and go, thank you, I appreciate you. I see
exactly.
you. I'm like, people don't talk
That's
like
the
that
thing.
anymore. People don't talk like
That's
that
the
to each other.
thing. That's the same thing like what happened to me at the car, where his eyes came literally closer and closer, because as a fan, you think, okay, he might say I love you too, like to the crowd, to all the heads in front of him, but for you to realize he really looks at you and sees you as an individual, it takes a moment for you to kind of come to grasp it, you know?
Yeah. I think all of us could learn a lot from that. And if we connected with each other a bit more like that on a personal level and
Yeah.
were sincere and genuine, I think
Mm-hmm.
the world would be a better place.
Mm.
We've lost something, you know, special.
Yeah, someone special.
Someone special. He certainly did, I think, change the world, healed the world as much as he could. He accomplished a lot in that
He
aspect.
did. He totally did. And they kind of try to now hide it, you know,
Not
shove
on
it
my
under a
watch.
rug. Huh?
Not on my
What?
watch.
Yeah, that's why I think what you're doing is very important.
Mm,
Very important to document this aspect of his. This aspect is more important than all the rest.
I think so.
All his stardom achievements, all his
I think
music
so.
and performances and the awards that he
I mean, that's
received.
amazing. And that'll live on forever
Yes,
anyway.
of course.
Easy.
Exactly.
Easy. Chantal, I have to go. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you too.
It was nice to see
talking
your
to
smiling
you.
face. Have a good day.
Same to you.
Thanks.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.